Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining into our solo training. So just so you know, this training today is going to be for sales reps. So the sales reps who are logged in can go ahead and can watch this. What we're going to do is we're going to go over the system and go over the proposal, how to request a proposal, and then a lot of the key features in the proposal itself. So one thing I want everyone to keep in mind is that with the proposal, there will be a number of tools that I show. We'll show all of them. And so with all those tools, hold on just a moment. I'm getting a message. There's no sound. All right, let me make sure that that's working. All right, let's see if that works. Switching that to external microphone. Should be on a bit of a lag. Okay, awesome. So we've got sound. Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the proposal itself, how to request it, all the features within. One thing to remember is that I will show all the features that are in the proposal itself. Some of them might not be accessible by you as a rep. Those things are all determined by owners of the company. So the owner of the company will determine what tools he wants available and then the bounds within which you can adjust those tools. So keep in mind that although you may see something that is on here, it might not be live or active on your proposal. If you do want it live or active, you could always talk to your owner or sales manager and give that feedback that you think it's a valuable tool that could help you in your sales process. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hop into this. You'll see here I'm logged in as demo sales rep. So all of you should have a unique login for yourselves from your company given to you. If we log in, then we can click on our top right. We can see we've got a switch here for dark mode or light mode that we can quickly switch on, switch off to change our view. I'm going to switch to dark mode. I prefer that lately. I usually toggle between the two. The next thing you can do is click on profile. When you click on profile, this is going to let you change your password. It would also let you adjust your name. So say you want to change it to sales rep instead of what it is currently, demo sales rep. You can change your phone number, email. Then you can go ahead and hit save, and it'll save and make those changes. So I'll go ahead and click back to my home screen. Do a quick refresh. We see my name change there. You can also just log out, which is very self-explanatory. So first things first, when you're on your home screen, this is what you log into. This is what you see. When you're on this home screen, you're going to see that we've got our recent leads right there in the middle of the screen. Those are going to be the most recent proposals that we've requested to be put through the system. You'll see on the right side of this, we've got our status, which shows proposal delivered, lead, proposal delivered. That will let you know if the proposal's been delivered for that certain customer. So say, for instance, I click on Kenneth Example. Go ahead and click on Kenneth Example. I'm going to see this customer information screen. For sales reps, and what's really, really important about this screen is that this is all the information that gets pushed over to the proposal once it's created. So this right side is a notes and files section. I'll hop into that in just a minute, but for right now I'm going to minimize it by clicking this arrow to the top right, just so it's out of the way. So I'll minimize that now. You'll see here we've got kind of a workflow: information, applicant, proposals, doc request, CAD, files, notes. We're going to stay in this information section for right now. So what we see on this customer section is we've got, first name, last name, phone number, email, address, city, state, zip. So this is all the information that you will submit when requesting a proposal, which we'll go through in just a minute. But just so you know, you can come in here to change this information, and it will change it on the proposal in real time. Down here, it's going to show, this one's just a ground mount, so it's in the middle of the field, but this is where other information you can change around as well. So I'm going to click on my solo logo up here in the top left to go back to the home screen. Here, what I want to do is actually create a new customer. So I'm going to click on new customer. This screen here, this select customer type, this will not be there for you. This is on my account because it's a demo account, so you can ignore this. We'll go ahead and click solar because that's what we're going to be doing. When we're on this screen here, we notice that we've got a three-step process. So 1, enter customer info. 2, confirm the location of the house. And then 3, we're going to upload or enter the utility information. So I'm going to come in here. I'll put in some test information, put in a phone number, put in an email. We'll do 2000 East, 3100 South. That seems like it could be a good one. Oops, not Connecticut. Let's do Utah. A4106. So once you've got all that information in, you'll be able to click next. You'll notice if you're missing a field, it will turn red. And then if I try to hit next, it's not going to let me through. So if you're trying to click next and it's just not working, you know, I'm sitting here clicking it 5, 6, 7 times, you need to check and put this info in, go ahead and click next, and then it's going to take you to the next screen. So the whole purpose of this screen here is just to make sure that we get the pin in the right spot. So the pin is this black, red, and white thing right here in the middle. It will drop wherever you initially put that address, but that does not mean that it's the final resting place. So if you want to change it around, you simply click. So if I want to move it to that roof, this roof, this roof, all you have to do is click. It is up to you and it is your responsibility to click on the right rooftop. Our reps will not go digging through Google and through Near Maps to see if they can find the right house based on address and street for you and this and that. It's your job and obligation to make sure that this is put on the right roof so that we know where to design. 9 times out of 10, it's just going to land on the right rooftop anyway, but if you do need to adjust it, just make sure you drop that on there and then you're good to go. Once you've got the pin dropped, go ahead and click next. And then this will be, as you can see, our third and final screen where we're going to upload or enter utility information. So enter monthly usage. This will be the best or most accurate way to input the monthly usage for the customer. So the goal of this whole screen is just to get the amount of current consumption they show so that we can put the accurate size system on their rooftop. So to do that, you obviously need to put in monthly usage. So monthly usage for January, you know, say it's 234, 234, 345, 345. You're just going to punch that in month by month to give us an accurate picture of what they've used. The next option, and keep in mind you've got 3 different options for uploading usage. You only have to input the usage for one of the 3 ways. You do not have to do all 3 ways. So entering the monthly usage exactly month by month, that is the best way to do it. The second best way is to upload a utility bill. This you simply click on choose file and you upload the file. If you're on your phone, you can choose it from your photo library. If you're on an iPad or a tablet, you can do the same thing. But what this will be is if you upload if you upload a utility bill, what we will need is that utility bill will show some kind of 12-month history or some kind of 12-month usage. And so it needs to have a graph or a chart or a list or something so that we can pull the usage from it to be able to input into the system. You also want to make sure that that utility bill, it does have to be corner to corner. It needs to include the full bill. There's no exceptions to that. If you take a picture of just the chart and send it to us, we're going to say we need the whole bill and the job's going to get put on hold. So it needs to be the whole bill each time when you're uploading that. And the last but not least, enter yearly or annual usage. So this will be, just to summarize, say the customer used 8,000 kilowatt hours last year or so far this year, whatever it may be. You're just going to type in the amount of kilowatt hours based on a year. As for all 3 of these options, more specifically the entering the monthly usage and the annual usage, you cannot put in, say, half a year and expect us to just extrapolate that data over the next 6 months. It's your obligation to put in the annual usage for both of them and all the months for this one. So if we were to come in here, we're going to put in 12,000. That would be a great way to put it at close to 1,000 a month or something. But either way, this needs to be a kilowatt hours for the whole year. Excuse me. Our next option here is we've got this real-time versus next-day selector. The most important point to remember about this is that whether you choose a real-time proposal or a next-day proposal, the deliverable, the proposal itself, the design quality, and all the tools within, they're going to be exactly the same regardless of which one you choose. The only difference between these two will be the time frame in which you receive the proposal. Real-time, this will be available within 10 minutes or less. Next day, this will be available within 24 hours or less. You'll want to talk with your sales manager or your owner or whoever has set this up for you and given you this login. You'll want to talk with them about what they prefer you do. There is a cost difference between the two, which is the most important factor as well, is that they may want you to do next day to cut down costs or because it's not necessary to do real time, or they may want you to do real time because that's close to your sales process and they're fine with it. You'll want to talk with them and then follow their guidelines on that. The other thing about next days is that although they are guaranteed within 24 hours, 24 hours are contractual obligation, the maximum amount of time we have to deliver that. Most often they are done much, much sooner. So if you do have an appointment, say, we're sitting in my time zone, it's Tuesday at 10:13 a.m. Say I have an appointment at 7 o'clock tonight. It's very, very likely I will have it done. As I said, contractually, we're under no obligation to have it done by then, but if you were to put it in, I would imagine it would be back to you within about 4 or 5 hours on next day. So just a little bit of information. The next thing you want to do is utility company. So depending on the state that you chose for your proposal, on my first screen where I was entering info, I put Utah. So if I click down, I'm going to see only Utah utility companies. I happen to know this one is Rocky Mountain Power, so I'll click on that. So this will pull up only utilities for your state. One thing that's really, really important to understand about this as well is in the example of, say, Arizona, you've got a utility company down there called Salt River Project, but no one ever calls it Salt River Project. They always call it SRP. There's another utility company, I believe, in Illinois called Commonwealth Edison. Most people just call it ComEd. So there's all kinds of abbreviations for utility companies. It's very, very important to note that abbreviations are not entered into this area. So where, Salt River Project, everyone calls it SRP. Commonwealth Edison is called ComEd. If you're in here looking for SRP or ComEd, you're not going to find it. You're going to have to look for it by the full name. So even say something like, Heber Light and Power. I bet they call it HLP up there. So you're going to want to know the full name and look for that full name when you're going through this list. The next option is your max offset or your desired offset. I would always opt for the max offset, and I'll show you why in a minute. Your individual design guidelines that your owner has set will stipulate this. You do have some control over it, but just so you know, the max offset is probably your best way to go. The last few things on the screen are going to be lead type, which you just choose, where this lead came from. Is it a self-gen? Is it a setter, closer assigned, advertisement? Where did this lead come from? Which county is this person located in? This will coordinate with fire setbacks as well as rebates if there are any. And then you have notes. And notes is the section where you can put in any additional guidelines. So we will have guidelines and design guidelines already given to us by owners of your companies. That will be things like, always design on southwest, east, then the north. We're going to do a minimum panel size or minimum system size of 4.25 kilowatts, and then minimum amount of panels per array is 3. Fire setbacks. They'll go through and put all those design guidelines in here. If you want to put in additional design guidelines, what you want to do is type them in here. So say you are, for example, at a house where you've already been to the house, you've talked to the husband and the wife or the partners, and they say, we really don't want it on a roof, but we do have a large detached garage. Can we put it on there? Sure. What you're going to want to do in these notes is say, put it on the large detached garage. And then our team will know that we need to forego regular rules, put it on the garage instead, and provide your proposal that way. One of the most important things to remember about these notes is that what might be super obvious to you because you've talked with the customer, because you're familiar with the situation, or because you're there, is not very familiar to someone who is, a couple thousand miles away in an office designing from satellite view. So make sure when you're giving these notes that you're clear and that you give context and that everything is really easy to read for our designers. The last thing that we want is that you give these notes and we don't understand them, and then the job just sits there while you're trying to make small talk with the customer waiting for your proposal. And that's kind of the nightmare situation where you've got to stall, you've got to slow down your pitch for 10, 12, 15 minutes, and then you start wondering where it is. And then you see that we asked you a clarifying question and you didn't see it in time, and so we put the job on hold. We're waiting for your response. Once we get it, we continue. That's not what we want. So make sure you're as clear as possible in those notes so that we can understand you and we can give you an accurate design as quickly as possible so that you can close more deals. For this one, I'm going to say, please ignore this request, just doing a demo. Then what I'm going to do is go ahead and click on submit. So when I click on submit, it's going to think for a second, and then what it's going to do is it's going to drop us back on that same customer information screen we were on in that demo earlier. But you'll see here we've got, test info is the name, customer ID, proposals, company. All this information is in here. Once again, we've got our notes and our file section. Files, you're able to upload, and then you can put any file in here that you want. Notes is actually, this is going to be a live chat with our design team. It's also a way that you can communicate with other people in your company. So if I type in, say, Becca, I can click in here and click on Becca, or I could click on Rebecca. You can also tag people that are within your organization. And then if our people have questions, they will appear in here, and you'll be able to answer the questions here. So this is where you can kind of live chat, and then you can minimize it. Like I was saying earlier, if you change any of this information, it will change it on the proposal in real time. You'll notice down here you've got the pin on the house that I selected. You'll notice that you can't click anywhere on this now. So as I'm clicking, you'll see random things highlighting because my screen doesn't want me to click here. If I want to click and change that pin, say I forgot to tag it, say I tagged the wrong house, whatever, I just want to change it, you can click on edit, and then it's going to drop that pin back, and I can click this house instead. I'll move the map. Well, we'll click on this one. This is a bigger, better house. We'll click on this one right here, and then I will click on save. It's going to give this error message maybe sometimes. It does with my demo account, so pay no attention to that. It's thinking for a second. It's going to reload that image, reload that pin, and then you see it there. So I won't spend any more time on this screen. You can edit, change all this information from here. Once the proposal is ready, you can click on proposals, and it will be listed here, and you'll be able to see it and click on it. So if I go back to, say, this solo, and I click on, we'll go test proposal, and then I come back to this proposal section, I'll see my proposal here ready and waiting. I see that Charlize Payne made it for me, the date she made it, the ID, the name, CAD, docs, etc. And then I can click on view and actually open that proposal up. You should also get a text message when it's ready and created for you. So without further ado, I'm going to switch into the proposal. On this one, you'll notice that you'll have your own custom logo, you'll have your own custom background image. Each of these are going to be customized to your own company and to your manager specifications. The same chat we had on that info screen is going to be available right here in this top left corner. You simply click on it, it expands, comes out here, you can type in your notes. Keep in mind that these notes are not for how-tos on how to use the proposal. They're also not to ask questions about, the company or pricing or functionality. It's strictly for design-based questions for our designers. If you ask them to change panels, add panels to the database, adjust pricing, a whole bunch of different options, if you're asking them to do that, they're not going to be able to do that. One, they don't have access to, and two, they're not trained to. If you ask them for a revision or you ask them why panels were put here, they can answer those types of questions, and they can also help you understand why things were put the way they were. But just remember design-related questions in this training bar, or this chat bar, excuse me. On the right side, we have all of our tools here. Pricing, adders, incentives, equipment rate plans, all this stuff. And I'll be hopping in and out of this as we go through the proposal to show you how you can use all of these to adjust the proposal in real time. Scrolling down here, we'll see first things first, we have your solar design. Your solar design is going to show all the panels on the roof, pretty plain and simple. And then what you'll be able to do is see the different information parts about that system beneath it. So if we look at this one, we've got, I think it's, 36 panels, 36 SteelFab 300 panels on the south side of this house. We also see our system size, our estimated yearly production, and our inverter and our modules. So Solo is very, very dynamic. So we focus on making sure that everything is able to be adjusted and edited and changed in real time so that you can close more deals. So for this house in specific, let's turn on, we've got our sunlight here in the top right so we can change. We see a heat map with our radiance values. We can also click on our menu up here in the top right and come down to equipment. What equipment? And these will all be programmed in here. All your inverters will be in here as well. The most important thing to remember about this is, say I want to switch from a SteelFab 300 to an LG 320. When I do that, and we can kind of see in the background, I've got a 10.8 kilowatt system size. When I do that, those numbers will change. So there we go. We see that it's changed. We've got, relabeled 36 LG 320s. Our production and our system size has changed. What's important to know about that too is that that will automatically add in a price per watt adder. So you don't have to adjust the price, adjust the monthly payment, adjust the ITC, nothing. You don't have to do anything. It's all done for you. Your owner has already worked with us to program all of that in, and it will flow super seamlessly. One of the coolest things about this, and I'm going to switch this back to SteelFabs really quick, or else we're going to overproduce on this by quite a bit. We'll go back to SteelFabs. We'll see our production drop, is the ability to adjust panels on the roof. And so if you'll recall, when I was submitting the customer, I said it's best to do max offset, and I'm going to show you why right here. So if we've got a roof like this, say for instance we wanted to, for some reason, add panels to this northern array. Typically you'd have to request a revision. So you'd have to come back, request a revision, wait another 10 minutes, get that proposal back, and then show the customer. What we've done is we put this edit button in the bottom right, and this will allow you to activate and deactivate panels on your rooftop. So as we can see here, we're going to have our solar offset in the top right. We've once again got our sunlight toggle on or off. and then we've got our payment here, our monthly payment of $150. On the image itself, we see green panels and we see red panels. All the panels on this image are placed according to your guidelines. It's just completely maxed out for the rooftop. What you can do is the green panels are activated panels. So green panels are activated. They're factored into the system, into the offset, into the payment. They're on. They're factored in. The red ones are not. So these are not live in any way. They will not show up on your image. They won't factor into the system size. They won't factor into the production, ITC, monthly payment, total cost. They won't appear at all. Now what we can do is we can immediately start clicking these on, and you'll see my offset up there in the top right changing, as well as my payment factor is going to be changing. And then what I'll do is I'll turn these all on really quick, and then I'll save my image, and you'll notice that the system size, production, monthly payment is now up to $233. But not only that, my actual image itself will be changed. And so that's a quick and easy way that you can readjust arrays, manipulate system sizes and location, and really give them a custom proposal to exactly what they want. When you're ready to turn them off, you simply click back in. You're going to readjust your panels. Sorry, it's going to take me just a moment to click all these back off. But once they are clicked off, we'll see our offset is dropping in the top right. We're going to size this right down to about 100%, where the customer would likely want it. And take off. We'll leave these three on. We'll overproduce a little bit. So we'll go ahead and hit save, and then that system's back to, I believe, 28 Silfab 300s. And we've got a nice accurately sized system that we were able to make ourselves. Down here, we've got the consumption and production graph. Pretty self-explanatory. This is going to go month by month. What are they currently using for their electrical consumption? And then over the course of a year, this is what their system would produce. Now you can edit any one of these months one by one as far as their consumption numbers. So if we look at the month of May at 881, you click on that and it's going to open up your changing tool to allow you to change that month specifically. If I want to click on June, July, August, etc. That might be a bit tedious. So if you want to change it on an annual scale or you want to change them all at once, you can click on the word energy right here in energy consumption. And what that will do is that will open up an annual tool that will give you your annual usage. So you've got 11.5, so say I want to change this to 12,000 quickly. I can simply type in 12,000, and I have access to all the months very, very quickly, so I don't have to click in and out of them. What this will also do is when you change this annual usage, you'll notice, so 12,000, you would assume 12,000 divided by 12 months. I'm going to get an even 1,000 each. We won't, because what we do is we have this integrated into NREL for your region, and what this will show is this will show approximate usage by month for your region as specific to NREL and PV watts. So that will be all in there. So you'll be able to click on that, type in 12,000, 13,000, 14,000, adjust that usage, hit update, and then your bell curve will change. And so that's a really nifty tool. It is a hidden hotkey, so you're not going to see anything on here that says click here to adjust annual basis. You're not going to see anything that says click here to edit these months. You just need to know and remember that it's there. It's been done that way to preserve the aesthetic and to make it so customers aren't saying, hey, click here, click that, adjust this. It's just kind of hidden, nice features that are subtle that you can change when you want to. We'll notice as we change, we're at 106 offset. If we were to change this to say, we'll go to 12.5. Our offset's going to change to reflect that increase in our consumption. This offset circle will simply show your annual offset. If you use 12,000 and we build a system that does 12,500, you're going to have an over 100% offset. Pretty self-explanatory there. When we get down into this section, this is where a lot of companies like to focus on some of the adders that they sell. So if I click into my sidebar, come down here to adders, excuse me, what you can do is you can click on adders, and in here will be all the specific adders that are unique to your company. So your owners will have gone through the process already of giving us a list of adders, inputting their price, how they want them to function, and then they should be educating you on how they want you to use them. All you should have to do is click on them. So say Critter Guard, I know that adds 10 cents a watt. If I click it, it'll automatically factor that in. I know that Nest Thermostat will add 100 or 300, and I know that energy efficiency will add $1,000 plus 5% offset. So I can click on all those, I can hit save, and it will factor all of that into my system, my cost, my monthly payment, ITC. Everything just did it automatically. You don't have to go back and do math. You go right back to your pitch, right back to closing the customer. So once again, you click on your side menu, click on adders, and then you simply click them on and off. There are some that are different. So say, for instance, roof work. This will just ask me for an amount. So say it's 1,200. say it's 5,000. Whatever it is, you can type that into certain adders. There's also some that will be a drop-down menu, so say mounting adders that can be different or unique per the roof type. You'll have some that will ask you, how many square feet, and it'll be based on square feet. How many trees are you trimming? It'll be based on any trees. It's all up to your owner. So if you do have any good feedback as well as for adders you'd like to see, just let your owner know so they can get those added in there. This section here, this goes more into the comparison of making sure you can save money for the customer, whether that be immediate with a 158 utility bill versus a 118 solar payment, or whether it be long-term with your 25-year savings. If we start here on this left side with your current utility bill, this is just clearly going to show the customer what they're currently paying for utilities. So last month I paid $158 in electric. That's just a fact. It's sitting right here. What you can do is you can grab this escalator to give them kind of a peep into the future. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years into the future, that's going to be their monthly cost based upon a set escalator that your owner has already set with us. So say it's 4%, 5%, this is going to show them what those utility costs are going to be. You can change that utility escalation rate by clicking in your side menu, coming down to utility escalation, and then we see here it's at 4. Say I want to change it to 3.5. I type that in, hit update. My savings will change, and then my escalator will change as well. So really easy to change that. Once again, menu, utility escalation, change it from 3.5 to 4, hit update, easy as can be. The other thing is, say you get to the customer's house and 158 isn't quite accurate for some reason. Maybe you didn't get accurate usage when you were entering it in. Maybe you didn't get any usage. Whatever the case may be, what you can do if you want to adjust this 158 monthly, or if you want to adjust the cost per kilowatt hour, you simply click on either one. So I'll click on this 158. That's going to open up my utility rate override tool. So say their bill's actually closer to 145. I'm going to type in 145. This is already going to average out my kilowatt hours. I hit update. That's going to change my utility bill, change my escalation scale, and change my 25-year savings. So a lot of customization. Click on it, take out your bill, type in 150, hit update, you're done. Keep in mind when you do this, let me rewind a little bit. When we initially create the proposal, we will factor in taxes, fees, interconnection, distribution, marketing charges, whatever may be compiled into that utility bill, it will be baked into that bill. If you use the override tool, it will anticipate that you know all of those costs and that you are factoring them in. It will not factor distribution, taxes, fees, all that stuff on top of it. So if I type in 150, you can see there's no calculation of taxes, fees, or anything above that. 150 is my all-in monthly cost on that utility bill. So keep that in mind. On the flip side, we've got your solar payment, and this is going to show us in conjunction with our loan option right here. We're on a Loan Pal 20-year 299. So in conjunction with our loan option, we've got your solar payment up here. So if I click on my right toolbar and click on pricing, this is actually going to show me how I got to this $118 a month payment. So we see our base price per watt of $275. Like I said, that CritterGuard adds in 10 cents a watt, energy efficiency, thermostat, dealer fees. This will show you a complete breakdown of what goes into that final price per watt right here of $363. In conjunction with that, you'll have your final system cost and then your monthly loan payment for that system. So this all works together to let you override and change the price. So we're going to go back to the top with our base price per watt of $275 and then connect it with our override base price per watt right here on this line of $275. So say we want to knock 10 cents off this system. Super easy. Click into your override, change it to 65. We'll see our final price per watt and our loan payment and our final cost adjust. You simply click save. That's going to adjust everything. You're done. You can click into your sidebar, click into pricing, change that again. Or what you can do is click on your solar payment, and then you'll get that information right here. Once again, if you want to add 10 cents, we'll say 20 cents. You want to add, make it up to $285. That'll change our final PPW to $375. Our loan payment's $122. Hit save. It'll adjust that. So that's a really quick way to change your price. If you want to, you can also click on this new utility bill, $13. Click on that $13, and it will allow you to change your post-solar bill as well. Down here, any loan option that your company has will be built into the proposal. Very, very, very easily accessible. All you're going to do is click on this option, and then you're going to see all of them listed here. Really, really easy to do. All you do is click on Loan Pal 10-year and it'll switch. Click on Sunlight 15-year, it'll switch. click on Sunlight 25 year, it'll switch. I could go on and on. Pretty easy. Just simply click on them and it'll readjust those factors, readjust the ITC as you can see, and readjust monthly savings, annual savings, everything else. If we're on, say, we'll go to a Sunlight 15 year, we'll go to 25 year. We'll go back to 15. There's better savings. So we'll go to our 15 year 299. We notice we got a 144 payment, new utility bill. Customer likes this savings. Customer likes that savings. This looks great. Let's go ahead and buy this. What you can do is with LoanPal and with Sunlight, we've got a built-in credit qualification page. You simply click on this blue qualify button to the right of the loan option. When you click on that, what it's going to do is it's going to pull in all the customer's information that you've already entered. You'll enter in a few more bits of information, obviously personal, private information that we don't need for a proposal, but you do need for a credit check. Sunlight's portal will do that soft credit check they do. LoanPal will do that hard credit check they do. All you do is put that information in. You can add a co-applicant if you want to. When you've got that co-applicant in there all filled out, you can check the box that says you're applying for joint credit. Then when all the fields are completed and filled out, you can click on this I consent to have my credit check, essentially. Then go ahead and click on submit, and then you'll get a credit decision back in about 10 seconds right up here. And it'll say approved, approved with conditions, or denied. If it's approved or approved with conditions, what you'll be able to do is then another button will appear right here beneath it that says send loan docs, and you'll be able to send those loan docs immediately. So you can realistically get your whole Sunlight or LoanPal credit check done within about 2 minutes. Once again, when you're on a Sunlight loan, whatever loan it is, you click on qualify, it'll pull this up and it will qualify them for the loan option you had it on most recently. If you're on, say, and like I said, that works for LoanPal and for Sunlight. On this example and on this example only for LoanPal, I've turned off that integration to show you what it looks like if you don't have the integration. So what we can do is any link you want anywhere on the web, any URL, we can plug into this qualify button and it can take you there. So maybe that's a third-party credit auth company. Maybe it's a Google Sheet that collects their information so you can run it from multiple credit auths in the background. Whatever it is, we can link it anywhere on the internet. You click qualify and it'll open that up in a new tab. So this takes you right to our LoanPal page. Click back on the Sunlight. So you can see that's all in here, really easy to use. The next thing I'll show you is this down payment. If you want to factor in a down payment, you can click on update. Say we want to factor in $5,000. Great. That's going to put $5,000 into the system, and then it will adjust our loan amount, our savings for that amount. If I take it out, we'll see those savings go up, or excuse me, the savings go down, solar payment go up. The other side is we have this how will you use your incentives area. This is really, really important to understand, and I'm sure most of you do, is that this, your solar company and Solo, no one is clearly saying to the customer, you are going to receive this credit, congratulations. What it is it's saying, if you were to receive this credit and if you applied it to your loan, this is what your payment would be. If you don't apply it to your loan, this is what your payment would be. Same with this Utah State tax credit. Obviously, tax incentives are individual based. If they're able to reclaim all of that credit, that's up to them and their tax professional. We leave that to the real brainiacs, not to us guys. So what we do is we just say, hey, if it's there and they get it, this is what it'll be. If it's there and they don't apply it, this is what it would be. Now to customize and edit these amounts, you've got a tool built in. So if I click on this side menu and then click on incentives, we're going to see my federal tax credit and my Utah State tax credit here. If you want to say hide them, and you're wondering, David, why do you want to hide a federal tax credit? That's the most attractive credit you can get with solar systems. I'm not suggesting you hide the federal tax credit. I'm just using this as an example that if you did have custom credits built in or custom rebates, you could hide those if the customer didn't qualify. Say it was $500 off for a referral. They didn't give you a referral, they don't qualify. Maybe first month's payment, if they sign up today, they don't sign up today, so you hide that. If you click save, it will actually erase those from the proposal and change the landscape of what you see so that it's not there. To bring them back, you simply click in, uncheck the hidden box, hit save, and everything's back to normal. If you click back to incentives as well, say you talk to the tax-savvy customer, they know that there's not much time in the year. They're only going to save $5,000. So put $5,000 instead of $7,700. You can hit save and it will adjust that number to show that $5,000 instead of the full ITC. So once again, you've got complete control over everything in here. If I want to get rid of that override value, I delete it. There's my 7700, hit save, I'm done. As we scroll down, some of this might be customized to your company, so you can swap out this image here. This page will go over the savings equations. So this will say, with solar, you have flat, predictable payments. The rising cost of utilities will lead to more savings over time. You've got your utility company. Staying with them versus switching to solar is going to be this amount. The facts, this is what I call the feel-good facts. Switching to solar, you're going to save CO2 emissions, which is the equivalent to planting this many trees. It will also add equity to your home. This page will go over the process, steps 1 through 7 for getting solar. This is what it looks like. This is what it takes. This is what you can coach your customer on and what they can expect. As I said, your company might have a different process page, different processes, and they will be able to edit this and update this however they want. Last but not least, on the proposal details, you'll realistically see all the same information that's up above. It's just in an easier to read format. On this, you'll see that you've got utility, which will show all of their utility charges, costs, information. You'll see the system size, what it will produce in terms of production over the course of a year, also in the 25 years. And then you'll see the cost of the system. How is the customer going to pay for this, finance it, etc., is all listed down here. When you get to this point, there's obviously one thing you want to do, and that's give the customer a copy so that they can look it over and call you back the next day and buy a solar system from you. What you're going to do is click on this menu in the top right, come down to your bottom and click on Share, and this will allow you to share it. Now, what's super important about this, and you may be asking, well, I can just grab this link here and send it to them. You do not want to do that. That link will allow them to edit and change the proposal in the same way I have on this demo. So what you want to do is if you use this share button, this is going to send them a locked demo version of this proposal that strips away all of the dynamic features. So I'll say that again. This share link is what you want to use every time, because if you don't, they'll be able to adjust the proposal, which just opens up Pandora's box of problems for you if they can come in here and change everything you've done to dial in the system to exactly what they want. So you can copy that link to your clipboard, you can send an email, you can send a text. This will auto-populate with the customer's information. All you have to do is hit send email, send text. They'll have it in about 2 seconds. You can also export to a PDF. Some companies in more rural areas like to print them out and mail them. Some sales reps, when they're working with older customers, they like to print it out and give them a hard copy. It's a little bit more trustworthy in their eyes. So you can export to a PDF. It'll cut it up into 9 nice even pages. Looks really great. And then you can go ahead and send it out that way. So that's really the proposal. That's everything in here. What I would urge you to do is, with the sample proposals that you have or the proposals you might have requested with your company so far, go in there, get familiar with the tools, get used to what they offer, how you can access them, how you can change them, get used to that flow, because with that, what you'll be able to do is go ahead and change things, manipulate them, edit them, make it really custom to you, custom to that customer. And the biggest thing is that when you can appear confident and smooth, it makes it really easy for them to trust you, and it makes them really easy to make the buying decision. So, obviously this isn't going to make everyone instantly buy it, but what we do see is about an average of a 15% close rate increase when they're switched to solo. So this does help people close more deals. It can help you make more money. It can help increase the bottom line, and that's good for everyone. So we've got a bunch of resources on our website. If you go to our YouTube page, this video will be hosted after this. Also on the page here, if you click on your side menu, come down to help, you've got videos. This will host videos on all the different things you can do. Also, if you click this again and come down to help and click on contact info, this will give you the phone number and dial-in numbers for all of our support teams. Customer success is right here. They're going to be one of your main points of contact, and then proposal support is going to be another one of your main points of contact. So they will be able to help you with everything proposal related. Customer success can realistically help you with everything else. Just dial into them. Make sure you hit option 2 or option 3 for proposal support and customer success, 4 for docs, 5 for CAD. I'm assuming no one on here is investigating the product. If you are, you can call in and hit option 1 for sales. So without further ado, we didn't see any questions come into the queue, so I'll go ahead and cut the feed now, but I appreciate everyone joining us, and we'll see you next time.